What's happening, people? It's your girl Minna. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what it is. Big up to everyone locked in on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Daily Dose of Minute is back. Guys, I know it's been a minute. It's been an absolute minute. But you lot know international break just means no streams because there's nothing to talk about. Absolutely nothing. Like, I've been clutching at straws to find stuff to discuss. But I thought it's only right today that I go live because, to be honest, since the Liverpool game, this is only my second stream. This is only my second stream. If you follow me on other platforms, you know that I'm active on like TikTok, Instagram, etc. But I thought today we have to go live, talk about Manchester United's summer 2025 plans. You see this, we're not even finished with the season. And there's news coming out, discussions coming out about what Manchester United's plans are for next summer transfer window, which is expected to be a big one under INEOS. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about as well the expectations from INEOS regarding an improvement in Manchester United's game model. Keyword game model. And that comes from Erik ten Hag. So we're going to talk about that. Of course, we play Southampton on the weekend, followed by, I think, Barnsley in the Carabao Cup. And then an interesting run of Premier League games. For me, every game is a must win. I don't want to see Man United drawing any game. Big up Mason in the chat. Big up Pyramid Scheme. Big up Buggy. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you're just coming through. Listen, guys, I'll be live later this afternoon after this stream. Maybe an hour or so after this stream, I'll be live on Twitch. So come over to my Twitch and come join me whilst I play NBA 2K. I'm really enjoying it. Shout out to 2K for giving me a code for it. And maybe I'll have a giveaway to do on the channel in the coming days. You never know. But come over to my Twitch as well. And all clips as well from that Twitch will be up on my second channel. But if you want to watch live in the flesh, then come through. PS5 Pro, November 7. Let's go. But my PC is better. But still, let's go. Is it even worth getting the PS5 Pro? I know that obviously the specs have improved, but guys, I just watched the announcement for the PS5 Pro, right? And you have to buy the disc entry part separately. That's like $80 if you're in America. But the PlayStation 5 Pro in the UK is going to cost £700. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Now, I haven't looked into the details of the specs, but if it's a big, I know it's like 4K and everything. So if there's big improvement on it, I might consider getting it. I might consider getting it if it's big improvement on the specs. But £700 is a lot for a games console. I think I brought my PlayStation when it had come out. I think I brought it 3 months after release, and I brought it for like $450 because it was the disc version. So that's a lot. That's nearly £300 more than what the disc version was. So it'll be very, very interesting. Salam, my rival sister. Wa alaikum salam, bro. I hope you're doing well. Big up Breadwinner as well. Benji says, no, £700. I know £700 is a lot. It's a lot of money. Maybe I will actually talk about it on my Twitch stream where we kind of dissect the specs for the PS5 Pro, because if it's anywhere near having like a PC, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I don't have a PC, right? Because I don't think I'm that much of a gamer. Like, I can do everything from my softwares right now, from my OBS, from my PS5, from my capture card, etc. But if it's getting the PS5 Pro is worth the same amount of me buying a PC, then maybe I got to decide. Minna, you sound broke. It'll cost £1,000 in South Africa, import tax. I'm not gonna lie, guys. When I first got the PS3, this is taking it back years ago. I bought it from Dubai. Like a couple of months before it came out in the UK. So I was the first person on my block to have a PS3 growing up. PS4 is it? Yeah, man, listen, I'm broke. It is what it is. I mean, £700, guys, on a games console is crazy. I can't lie, it's crazy. Especially if there's nothing wrong with my actual PlayStation. If there's nothing wrong with my actual PS5, why am I convincing myself now to upgrade to a PS5 Pro? The only reasoning I can think of is for specs. If the specs are better and all of that stuff, then I can upgrade my PS5 to a PS5 Pro. You run everything off your PS3? Absolutely not. My PS3 is broken. It's dead. I don't even know where my PS3 is. It got the yellow light of death. If you lot know about the yellow light of death on PlayStation, then you know about it on PS3. My PlayStation got the yellow light of death. I think it was a couple of months after the PS4 came out. So I had to go and force myself to get the PS4. And I did. I got the PS4, and then years later, COVID. I remember I got the PS5 during the pandemic when everybody was out there fighting for their life trying to cop, trying to cop a PS5 during the pandemic. PS4 owners gather here. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got a 4070 Super in my PC, but it's for my animation work. I need that PS5 Pro. I don't even know what a 4070 Super is. Like, that's how out of tech I am. You know me, guys. I'm the kind of person. I don't know if you realize I've got this controller here, right? I like aesthetics. I like getting stuff for the sake of getting it. Yeah, I like, I like getting PlayStation stuff, controllers, etc., for aesthetics, not to use it. So I got this controller, this LeBron James. Let me bring it. This LeBron James custom controller from PlayStation, right? Guys, I've never used it. I have never ever used it. It's here for aesthetic because it looks pretty for my streams. So I just like to put it up there. If I could get the Astrobot one as well, I would, but I can't find it online. Nintendo Switch better. You know what's funny? I've actually been considering to get a Nintendo Switch for traveling purposes, but I'm just not really a Switch kind of person, if that makes sense. Playing Mortal Kombat on PS5 as we speak whilst listening. I'm not gonna lie, have I played Mortal Kombat? I got it, but I haven't played it. My friend got it for me, but I've not played it. I'm trying to expand. You lot know I'm trying to expand my palette of games. But right now, guys, NBA 2K25 got me in a chokehold. It's got me in a serious chokehold. Shout out to 2K because I'm not gonna lie, 2K24 I didn't really enjoy that much, but 2K25 so far I'm enjoying it a lot more. So hopefully I'll be able to do a stream later this afternoon. Doing my player, I built, what is it? I built a center. So I'm coming up against some beasts in the paint, guys. I'm coming up against Jokic. I'm coming up against Carl-Anthony Towns. I haven't come up against Embiid yet because I ain't played the 76ers. But I joined the Dallas Mavericks and we're on a decent run. I got Kyrie, I got Luka, I got Klay Thompson. And then me in the paint, I'm just there for rebounds and occasionally getting buckets. Occasionally. But I'll save all that 2K talk for the Twitch stream. Make sure, guys, if you lot are going to do anything before we get into the football talk, just go ahead and subscribe or follow my Twitch, not subscribe. I'm still getting used to the different terms. Go and follow my Twitch. It will take 2 seconds. Please, and you lot can come through and chill with me later on. My Wemby build on 2K24 was OP. It's a Wemby build that I've built essentially. It's a Wemby build. I can go. My shooting's all right. I think my dunking is probably the best. Rebounds, I'm a beast on the boards. But Jokic, bro, he cooked me. We ended up beating the Nuggets, but just about. But I was struggling. Is that a Dan Juma jersey from Everton? No, it's a Dan Juma jersey from Villarreal. I would never put up an Everton jersey there. But big up to Dan Juma. The story behind that, if you don't want to know the story behind that, let me know. I like 2K, but I hate the purple. Oh. Listen, I can't lie, guys. I said I'm a disgrace, right? Because we're gonna get to the football talk. But I'm an absolute disgrace. This year, if I show you lot my goals list, I said I would be consistent on Twitch. I have not streamed once this year on Twitch, and I keep saying every week I'm gonna stream on Twitch. But now I really want to get into my gaming bag because it's something I enjoy as much as football. So my plan is to stream on Twitch and then clip and post up on my gaming channel because for the algorithm, it's important, and it gaming is not as big on YouTube. Yeah, gaming is not as big on YouTube. So if I'm gonna do gaming, I'm gonna have to do it on Twitch and just basically clip it and send it over to YouTube, which is not difficult. Big up to Thriller, says big up, Mina, big up. All right, let's get into it. Listen, let's get into the football talk because it's been a minute. Firstly, actually, before we actually get into the football talk, how has everyone been? How has everybody been during international break? How's your sanity been? Because if it was not for 2K25 coming out, if it was not for that, I would have been bored out of my mind. Now, I already told you, lot, I don't really enjoy watching international football unless I have to, unless it's Euros, Copa America, big competitions. This international break right now and these games, I don't want to watch that stuff. Players are getting injured left, right, centre because they've got an international break. 3 games into the season. So what have you lot been up to? Because me, I've just been playing 2K, guys. And I've also been planning content. So I've been expanding the kind of content I'm doing. Have you pre-ordered FC25? Not yet. I'm hoping EA will give it to me. All right, I'll refer to her as the purple app. Thank you, Pyramid Scheme. I didn't know that. I didn't actually know that. I stopped listening to all Man United football talk because it's the same discussions over and over. Honestly, that's why I haven't gone live, guys. That is why I have not gone live yet, because there's nothing to talk about. Like, I don't know if you lot realize, if you lot have your notifications turned on, then you would realize that I set up streams and then I delete it. Because I sit there before going live, an hour or two before going live, and I'm like, bro, I'm going to sit there and waffle for 20 minutes about nonsense that makes no sense because there's nothing to talk about. So why am I going to waste people's time? There's no point. There is absolutely no point. So this international break has been a good opportunity for me to kind of, refresh, get some fresh ideas in. I got a lot of ideas, just not in men's football, but even women's football, that hopefully you lot will be able to see soon. So a lot of stuff is not on YouTube, guys. So I would say if you want to see like the content that I will be cooking up, Instagram, TikTok, that's where they will come. I will post it onto YouTube as well, but the nitty-gritty stuff, it will be there. I've been playing EAFC 24. I can't lie. I've played pro clubs a couple of days during international break, but I don't enjoy Ultimate Team anymore. I just don't enjoy Ultimate Team because it's the end of the game. It's the end of the game. Been playing Footy Addicts. I might have to check that out. Mina, when's your next meeting with AGT? I'm actually cursed, guys, when it comes to doing content with AGT. And shout out to him because there's no one. I don't think there's a Liverpool fan that gets under people's skin more than AGT. But anytime I do content with him for a preview of United, we lose. Like, I just need to stay away from him because the last time I didn't do it, it was fine. It was fine. I swear, every time I've done it, we've lost, and we're not losing. Not losing like respectably. We get walloped. So I gotta stay away. I did enjoy you and Alice on UV Red Talk. I think Saeed had the best idea for this break. Yeah, Saeed went and flew out. To shout out to him, he went and flew out to New York, and he said, "I gotta get out of here." And I said, "Alright, fairs." I mean, I would have loved to go on holiday in the international break, but I'm away for the next international break, which I need to figure out what I'm gonna do because guys, if I go on holiday, right, and it's international break, should I take my equipment with me or like take my portable equipment with me? So my mics, my lights, all of that kind of stuff, and still do streams? Because I think the time zone difference, let me check what the time zone difference would be between where I am going and the UK. The time difference is 7 hours. So if I wanted to do a stream at like 4 p.m. UK time, which is what I usually do, I would have to stream over there at like 11 p.m., nearly midnight. So I don't know. Now I just do vlogs. I don't know if I do vlogs, because if I do football related stuff, then maybe I can do vlogs. Because this is a football channel. Essentially. What I do want to do though is, if anybody here is from Malaysia, yeah, if you are from Malaysia, please let me know local football teams I can go and watch in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur in particular. Number one. Number two, please also let me know where I can buy local Malaysian football shirts. So local clubs or the national team, where can I get the shirts from? Because I've tried to look for it in the UK, and Malaysia is one of the countries I'm going to. I've tried to look at it in the UK. I can't find it. I can't really find it. So if you lot know where I can, if you're from Malaysia and you're watching this, Temu, come on, brother. I'm not going to get it. I actually want to support like Malaysian businesses. So when I go there, I want to find a store. Hopefully they got sports shops that I can buy Malaysian football shirts from, because I've seen a couple of Malaysian national team kits that I kind of like. So I might have to look into getting that. But listen, let's get into it, because I think I've waffled for a bit. You know, it's international break, so it's only right that the rumors about Rabiot resurfaces. Cash money, every single, guys, this is like, if there's 3 things in life guaranteed: death, taxes, and Adrien Rabiot being linked to Manchester United in an international break. It's cash money. Now, the news that's come out today is that Manchester United are reportedly looking at Adrien Rabiot, a move for Adrien Rabiot, despite the fact that they deem a move for him as quite expensive. Now, Manchester United were reportedly set to hold talks with Adrien Rabiot as Erik ten Hag is looking to strengthen his midfield options. And it's not just Manchester United looking. I think there's other teams as well. Obviously, he's a free agent, so he can sign whenever, but the demands are a lot. Apparently, he's asking for like 180k. 180k. Listen, the devil works hard, but Mama Rabiot works harder. Mama Rabiot said, "My son is getting the bag by any means necessary." Do you think Manchester United can get away with paying Mason Mount 250k a week, and Mama Rabiot is not going to expect at least 200k for her son? Of course, she's going to try and secure it for him. It's going to be guaranteed. Now, whether Manchester United get that or not is interesting, because I don't know if you've seen, and we're going to get into it particularly because there seems to be discussions, dressing room leaks, if you want to say, about Casemiro or talking about Casemiro, and maybe Manchester United feel like they need to strengthen their midfield. I mean, they've got Casemiro, they've got Manuel Ugarte, who, by the way, is not fit enough to play for Manchester United, but apparently is fit enough to play for his national team. I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me, guys. That Manuel Ugarte can play for Uruguay, but he needs time at Manchester United. What happened to the good old days of signing a player and just dashing them into the starting lineup? What happened to that? I don't know. Maybe I'm advocating for that and other people wouldn't. But personally, I don't think it would be the worst thing, right? Because it's very clear that Manuel Ugarte has played football. But anyways, Casemiro, Ugarte, you got Kobe, you got Bruno, you got Christian Eriksen, who I forgot exists. And then you got Toby Collier, the youngest of the bunch, alongside Kobe Mainoo. I don't think Adrien Rabiot would be a bad inclusion to that list. I mean, for what he offers as well, physicality, getting forward, he's a bit of an, I would like to say, I see him as an engine type of player that can get up and down. He's quite mobile. He can get up and down, left to right, etc. It's just I don't care about salary, guys. Can I just say that? At the end of the day, it's not my money that's paying their wages, right? At the end of the day, it's not that. But I think that this is another transfer that has been resurfacing every couple months, every summer, guys. You don't talk about Schneider and all of these people that United have been linked to. I swear, I remember Man United being linked to Rabiot since they won the World Cup. I think he's a bigger Fred. That's a good way to compare him. France won with Pogba, Kante in the midfield. They got this guy and they fell. I don't like a conspiracy, but that's a good conspiracy. Big up to Daniel, says we need legs in midfield. He'll be a good fit. Amir says Mainoo and Ugarte, the perfect midfield duo. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to the midfield duo thing, because I'm of the impression that United shouldn't play two in the middle. They should actually play three. But we're going to get to that kind of conversation. The day I see Rabiot at United middle, hellfire and brimstone. Big up Dipesh says, off topic, but have you seen the PS5 Pro price they're taking? The mic we just spoke about at the beginning of the stream, £700. Someone called me broke for saying that £700 is a lot of money to spend on a console. But yeah, it is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. Would you guys take Rabiot? That's the question. I mean, on a free, who are we to complain, guys? Who are we to complain? But then again, I'm thinking of everything else that he would bring into the dressing room, everything else that he would bring in, and I'm just thinking, it's just that I don't want to say he's a toxic player, because one thing I don't like to do is to label players as toxic before they've even before they've even had a chance in the team. But I just think the environment that Manchester United are possibly trying to build, I don't think he'd be a good fit for it. Too much money. You lot are all saying a lot of money on 100k a week max. I think, you know what it is? I think it's also because Man United, outside of England, right? When they negotiate salaries, they do it net value, whereas in England they negotiate it gross value. So I think if his mum manages to negotiate 100k a week net, gross value will put him in what, 150, 160, and then if she manages to negotiate 200k in gross, that will be 250, 260, 270. So it is quite interesting. It is quite interesting, the numbers that we see. It's funny to me, guys. Let's actually look at the free agents, because it's actually quite funny to me. He is on the free agency list right now, and he's probably the best player available out of everyone that's a free agent, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Let's bring it up here. Look at this, look at this, guys. Please, look at this, yeah? Anthony Martial yet to find a club. I swear he was meant to join a Brazilian team. So I don't know what happened there. But I know he was meant to join a Brazilian team, but he's still listed as a free agent. But if you look at the free agents that are currently available, he's probably one of the best that's available. And Anthony Martial, United won't take him. Matip, he's 33. Ben Yedder, nah. Everybody else, I'm like, there's nobody on this list that I would take. There's absolutely no one on this list that I would take. Deadass. And you can see there's a reoccurring age, by the way. You can see the theme of the age. Brandon Williams still hasn't found a new team. Says a lot. Says a lot, guys. I didn't know that. He's probably the youngest. Him and Aaron Connolly are the youngest people so far. Okay, there's a few other people younger than that. But you guys see, look at the theme here. Look at the theme here. The best player available for me on a free agency right now would be Adrien Rabiot. I think he would offer a lot to Manchester United. It's just, for me, the environment is key. So will Rabiot be Casemiro's replacement? No, I don't think so. I don't think Casemiro is going anywhere. He's still got 2 years left on his deal. He ain't walking around from his money. He ain't walking away from his money. I think Adrien Rabiot, if United were to get him, would be for depth. That's it. That's it. If he's happy to come in and play a role-playing position, like i.e. a role player come in when needed. Bear in mind, guys, Manchester United lost Scott McTominay. I'm not gonna count what's his name, Ericsson as an option, because I just don't see where he adds value for Manchester United when it comes to what we lack in midfield, which is physicality, and which is ball retention, or the ability to kind of control the game from the middle. Losing Scott McTominay and bringing in Ugarte, that's not a like for like switch, right? But one thing that I think Manchester, and by the way, we had this debate on the red carpet yesterday. If you lot watched it on United View, Marcel said, and I've got a video dropping probably tomorrow, I think tomorrow, on Seko Kone. Marcel said that United should just promote Seko Kone to the first team. And I said he's at least 12 months away from being in and around the first team. He is training with the academy now. I saw videos of him with a couple of the players in the academy. He's still a bit away from being a first team player. He is still a bit away from being a first team player. So for me, if Manchester, and this is a big if Manchester United want a player for depth and to be a role player and can get him on decent wages for a role player, then I wouldn't be against the idea of Rabiot. But it's likely than not, guys. I have to look at it like this, right? Why has Rabiot not signed with a team yet? Why do you think the reason is that he hasn't signed with a team yet? Do you think it's the wage demands? Do you think it's the environment that he kind of brings with him when he joins the team? What is it that has kept him away from a top club this summer? Because he's been a free agent for the best part of 2-3 months. Near enough 2-3 months he's been a free agent, and he's still available on the market. Now, when I look at someone like Anthony Martial, I understand why he possibly could still be on the market because of his injury problems, etc. He hasn't played a lot of football. I look forward to other players who will be free agents in the coming season, and I think, okay, you lot might struggle to find players. I look at Varane, who joined Como FC and then got removed from their squad that was submitted to Serie A because of injury. I think he joined there and took a hefty pay cut for experience purposes. That's why Como wanted him. But I'm looking at Rabiot, I'm thinking, it's 3 months. There's plenty of teams that could have done with a midfielder, not even just a starter, but just a bench option. And yet no one sniffed around. No one has sniffed around. The only name that I see always popping up, similar, take it back to the Ivan Toney thing, the only name I'm seeing popping up next to Rabiot regularly is Manchester United. And that's why I don't really think there's anything in it. I genuinely do not think there's much in it. Let's talk about the future. Got to be the wages. It must be the wages. Yeah, he's probably asking for his last big kind of pay cut. Now, it is international break, so you can imagine that a lot of things being put out there, we'll take it with a big pinch of salt. There's a few names that we've seen flying about over the last couple of days, kind of talking about what Manchester United's future transfer targets look like. Number one, Manchester United will continue to monitor the situation at Everton for Jared Brantwaite. That's the first player. Number two, Manchester United have reportedly held discussions with Crystal Palace for Adam Wharton and with Middlesbrough for Hayden Hackney as potential midfield targets. Now, a signing like this kind of goes with the ethos of INEOS. Buy them young, buy a talent, mold them into, a superstar. Don't buy a ready-made superstar, but buy the person that can become a superstar. I'm not saying Wharton can be a superstar, but I'm saying that this kind of target is what is the ilk of what INEOS would want and what they've told us, essentially. That's all I'm going off. What has been said by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, etc., etc. Now, a midfield of Wharton would be nice, right? But we have to think about, realistically, what do you guys think would be sufficient for next summer in terms of players that United get? Do you want ready-made talents, proven talents? Do you want players that are set to be a talent or have potential? Because I think Man United need to find the balance, right, in the window. I think they need to find the balance of getting young talents, but also getting proven players. Whether it's Premier League proven or first team proven, it needs to be a good balance for me. I don't want to see a window where United just go and buy potential. Because essentially, I'm not going to lie, other clubs in the Premier League are doing that. I'm not going to say any names, but there's other clubs that have done that in the Premier League and have been heavily criticized. And I've criticized them for that. So I would like the idea of Wharton, but another player that I like the idea of, if I can find it here, is this guy here. If you don't remember, guys, now, I'm not saying this has anything to do with me, right? Let me actually bring it up. I'm not saying this has anything to do with me, but if you lot cast your minds back, and I need to bring up the picture here, otherwise this story is not going to make any sense. Cast your mind back to 12 months ago. If I can find it, what the hell? Take your minds back to 12 months ago, where I ventured out to an event. I went to an event which was oh my god, I didn't even upload it. Did I not upload it here? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Do you guys remember this? Do you not remember this? Now, I'm not saying I have something specifically to do with this, but I did say to him that day, I would love to see you at Manchester United, and he just laughed. Now, if you go back a week, I think it was like a week ago, the chairman of Crystal Palace did an interview with Sky Sports and said that he was very shocked that no offers came in for Eze. He was very, very shocked. Now, of course, you look at the price tags that Palace players have had. You look at Elise's price tag. You look at Mark Gahey's price tag. You look at even Anderson, who they sold. He's not going to be cheap. But I very much like the idea of Eze at Manchester United. You lot are saying Agent Minna. I'm just saying, guys, I met him. This was at the shout out to EA as well, because this was at the FC24. This was at the FC24 launch last year. And we had like a quick chit chat, and then I said to him, and he said, "What team do you support?" I said, "I'm a United fan." And I said, "Please come to United." And he laughed. So I'm not saying it was me, but it was me. But Manchester United's provisional plan is to sign a midfielder, a defender, and a winger next summer with Eze of interest. This is according to Samuel Luckhurst. And I don't know, I said a couple months ago, I said actually way more than a couple of months ago, I said that it would be very unfortunate that Manchester United have brought Jadon Sancho, they brought Anthony, and then they would still have to go out in the next summer and buy another creative player, a creative outlet. And they're going to have to do that with Eze. It does look like they are leaning towards the idea potentially of a British talent with Premier League experience. I think that is a given. And I think Eze would be good. I think that is also Palace's next big player that they sell. Musiala contract ends in 2026. We can sign him next summer. Musiala, for me, you lot know, I toot his horn a lot. I big up Musiala a lot, right? Because he's one of my favorite players outside of Manchester United. But if Man United managed to pull it off, kudos to them. But I've seen reports suggesting that Musiala will potentially join Manchester City, which is kind of linked to the idea of Pep potentially staying past this season or past next season. I don't know how true it is. It's just reports that I've seen over the last couple of days. And I'm not saying that the Musiala dream is non-existent, but I would love Musiala at Manchester United. Verts, I would like Verts as well. Anybody in that 10, I think it's also curious to me, guys. Do you think Manchester United will lose out on good creative players because of the contract that they've given Bruno Fernandes? Bruno Fernandes is now the second highest earner at Manchester United. I don't know if you lot saw the report the other day, but there was a report about like Manchester United's salary brackets. Bruno is earning the same as Casemiro. Do you think that that could come back and bite United in the arse where they lose out on a potential talent like Musiala, like Verts, etc., etc., because of that big contract that they've given to Bruno Fernandes? Because I'm not gonna lie, guys, I would be very upset if that's the reason that United do miss out on someone. I don't know about Musiala joining United personally. I think how realistic would that be? How realistic would that be? You know, especially if Manchester United are not up there competing for titles, for Champions Leagues, etc., etc. He could easily have a heap of other options. Agent Xerxes, I saw him comment on Xerxes' post calling him a two-way inside scorer or something like that, which made me laugh because that's a reference to NBA 2K, which just confirms that these guys play 2K as well. Let me see what you lot are saying. Musiala and Eze are better than Verts for me. So what are you saying is 2 out of 3 of them. Bayern will fight for Musiala's signature. Yeah, 100%. I think it'll be a battle. Not just Bayern. I think it will be a battle for quite a few players. I think a strong part of me thinks that Manchester City are looking at Musiala as the Kevin De Bruyne replacement, because I think KDB might leave the Premier League after this summer. So it'll be very interesting. Those kind of players are only for Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City. What, we're still putting Barcelona in the bracket of Real Madrid and City? Damn. Hopefully we can get a smart coach that plays Bruno in his natural position so we can get a 10. I would like to see Bruno drop to that deeper role. Ronan says Nico Williams or Verts would be a better option. What do you lot think of Nico Williams? What do you guys think of Nico Williams? I like Nico Williams. My dream signing would be Lamine Yamal, but I know that ain't never happening, guys. That guy got a 1 billion release clause, I think. So I know that's never ever gonna happen as well. Let me see what else you guys are saying in the chat. How are we going on about Bruno? If we are back in Champions League, it's a possibility. Big up to Ahmed. 100%. That's why Champions League football for me is so important to get this season. Like, for me, it would be no excuse if Manchester United do not get Champions League football next season. United are going to miss out on a heap of targets next summer. Like, not just targets, but even potential players. In my opinion, anyways. I think getting Champions League football, that's why for me, doing well in the league is United have to do well in the league. We cannot rely on just winning the Euros, winning Europa League, sorry. We can't rely on just winning Europa League to get to Champions League. Like, for me, I'd rather have 2 exit plans rather than 1. I'd rather have 2 plans, i.e. we finish in top 4 and we win Europa League, which will be a plus on top of it, or just finish in top 4 or just finish in Europa League. That scares me too much. If you have 2 chances to qualify for Champions League, you should try and qualify in both ways. You shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket in that situation. Diala says, I'm going to translate for you guys, but Diala says that Nico Williams is just another Marcus Rashford. But he's not the only person that says that. Someone else just said that. Yamal ran the show. Nico Williams is a Spanish Rashford. Apparently, Jimmy said no pressure on Ten Hag this season. We're going to get to that. We are going to get to that about those comments that has been said. Big up to Aria, says big up Minna and everyone. INEOS have surprised us this season. I ain't ruling nothing out. I mean, next summer, anything is possible, right? Anything is possible next summer. We got Pogba without champs. I get the point, though. Yeah, I mean, we got Pogba. When we got Pogba, Jose Mourinho was the manager. They paid him a shit ton of money. He had a connection already to Manchester United because of his academy days. But if Manchester United want to move away from this idea of giving people big salaries to join United because they don't have Champions League football to offer, then I think it's not cutting it, if that makes sense. United need to move away from the idea of giving someone 250, 300k to come and play at Manchester United because we don't have Champions League. Why don't we just excuse all of that and just qualify for Champions League? I know it sounds easier. It's easier said than done. But my point is that United have two ways of qualifying for Champions League this year, right? They should try and utilize both routes rather than just saying, you know what, we're just going to focus on Europa or we're just going to focus on top four. Try and utilize both. And what's the worst that can happen? Honestly, well, what is the worst that could happen? For me, that's the most important part. Let's talk about Casemiro, because this guy has been, the way I've seen him getting butchered, he's been getting butchered like his name's Lisandro Martinez. I know, guys, that is actually that was a poor joke. That was a very, very poor joke. But reports from Samuel Luckhurst earlier today suggest that Casemiro's teammates feel his decline at Manchester United has come as a consequence of the club's own struggles. Dressing room sources say that Casemiro didn't sign up for a second season to attempt to qualify for Champions League, which proved to be beyond United last term. Casemiro right now is being dragged through the mud, left, right, center, right? He's being criticized everywhere. And in a way, I agree with this. I don't know what he was sold, what idea he was sold when he joined Manchester United, right? He joined Manchester United, Erik ten Hag's first summer, Europa League football. They essentially probably said to him, this is the only season you're going to play outside of Champions League. After that, we'll be in Champs. And now he finds himself not in Champions League. But not only that, he finds himself at the brink of his career, in my opinion, at top flight football, because I do not see it. The only way I see it getting better is if they remove all defensive responsibility from him and play him as an advanced 8. That's the only way that I see it. He can get you the occasional goals like Scott McTominay did. He could, there's no one beating Casemiro sometimes in an aerial duel for a ball into the box. All of that into consideration, I think a big part of the way that he's playing is the system. Guys, I don't want to say the word system, but I do think the system is part of the issue as well. Because I think that Liverpool game also showed us that you can put Kobe in that role that Casemiro is playing, and he will make mistakes. He will make errors. And what will happen? He will get butchered. He will get criticized. He will get dragged. I'm having debates here on someone else's channel where people are saying Kobe should leave United because they're going to run him into the ground. They're going to ruin his career, etc., etc. Casemiro has to accept that he is declining in his career. But equally, we have to accept that the biggest parts of his gameplay that is flawed should not be on show like this. I could look at Casemiro last season and see the guy, any amount of pressure, and I said this, I think it was last year I said this. I said any amount of pressure on Casemiro and he chokes, he fumbles, he gets a bit jittery. If everyone can see that, I'm not sure why the system kind of entails, if the system entails a player to play in that position and be good on the ball, don't play him there. Don't play him there, because we know it's not going to work. We know it's not going to work. We're going to go into some kind of system breakdowns of Manchester United under Erik ten Hag and kind of see, because we know this 3-1-6, right? The infamous 3-1-6. It's like a cursed number that I don't want to hear. Anyone in that midfield, I'm sorry, you expect one person to play as a lone midfielder? They will choke. They will suffer. They will drown. You can put whoever it is. If you ask someone to play as a lone midfielder, can I say, by the way, that even when I watch City play, for example, even City, who play Rodri as a lone in that midfield as a holding DM, they will have someone invert with him. They will have someone invert with him. Whether it's Akanji, whether it's Ake, whether it's John Stones that we saw doing it, they will never have him patrolling the midfield completely by himself. And that's what worries me. Remember Casemiro at centre back? That also frightening to watch. Yeah, that was scary. That was scary. Did any of the front six give Casemiro an option to pass to? I think in that Liverpool, I'm thinking back to that second goal. I think he tried to dribble out, right? He tried to dribble out, and he kind of got sandwiched by like 3 Liverpool players. Contact came, ref didn't give the free kick. But essentially, for me, he shouldn't have to be in that position to try and dribble out, because United shouldn't. I'm sorry, yeah, but in doubt, kick it out, or in doubt, go long. Like when I was growing up playing football, my coaches always used to say to me, "Listen, if you are ever in doubt trying to bring the ball out, just boot it, just clear it out. Even if you lose possession, at least that gives you time to get the structure back for your formation. But you're taking on 3-4 man. It's not gonna work. You have to be a perfect footballer to play in Ten Hag's system. I mean, when we've seen Erik Ten Hag speak about his system, and even if you go back to his time at Ajax, he talks about like small margins, but also perfection. Perfection. And for me, in football, if your system requires perfection, that's worrying. Because I don't think you're not going to get perfection consistently in football, right? Every game you ain't getting perfection. In 90 minutes, you're not going to get perfection, right? I think football, and this is why obviously I'm not the manager, right? But the way that I see football is it's played in little time slots. And if you require perfection in every time slot for the game to win the game, then that is a flawed system. If your system highlights the weaknesses in players rather than hiding it, then your system is flawed. If your system relies on specific players, not profiles, specific players to work, then your system is flawed. And that's why I have a lot of questions about what United are trying to do right now. And it's not just me. It's not just me, because I know a lot of people have it, but even INEOS have the questions. Even INEOS have the questions about Erik Ten Hag and the system that he's trying to implement right now at Manchester United. I mean, not long ago, a couple of days ago, I think it was. I think it was actually a week ago, or a week and a bit ago, just after the Liverpool loss. It was reported that Dan Ashworth has questions about Manchester United's game model, and that INEOS expect improvements, not just in the game model, but in the manner in which Manchester United are playing, whether it's tactically, structurally, etc. The only person that can give us those answers is the manager, because let's take it back to 2 seasons and a bit ago when Erik Ten Hag came into Manchester United. He said errors come to an end, in reference to Liverpool and City. He then went on to say that he was going to make Manchester United I think it was the best transitional team in football. From that, it went from transitional team to Ajax style. He was hired to play Ajax style football that he was going to try and implement. And then months and months down the line, he says, I cannot play Ajax style football here. For me, the tactical side of the game and what the manager is trying to implement has just changed as the milestones have kind of gone on. It went from Ajax style of football, I can't do that anymore. Then it went to transition style of football, can't do that. There's only certain games I can do that. And then the other games, I just got to figure it out. But if the system requires perfection, that is a flaw. Because football is not perfect. I think what's the nearest that we've seen to perfect football? Is it the World Cup winning Spain team? Is it a Pep system at Barcelona? What is the nearest thing to perfection where there is not only there's no room for error, there's no margin for error? I'm trying to think of a system that we could have ever seen that in. Pep's Barca, yeah, that's the closest I can think. Even like the World Cup winning Spanish team, I think it wasn't perfection. I think I'm traumatized from Pep's Barca, the Dutch national team with Cruyff. There you go. These are all schools of thought. That's what I want to. That's what I like to call it. School of thought. The Pep way, the Cruyff way. Ten Hag is trying to take a bit of each and make it into what the Ajax way is. But I always said this, can I say, when Erik Ten Hag first came to Manchester United, and you lot could probably find receipts on United View, I said a manager shouldn't come here to play Ajax football, because this is not Ajax. I want you to come and play a system, play a style, and make it the Manchester United way. Why would you want to come to, like, it's not the Ajax football, can we say? If Eric Ten Hag's system has a specific term, because you can't come to Manchester United and play Ajax style football when Ajax style football is their philosophy, their club's philosophy, right? Every player will make mistakes, and the system and the implementation of rest defense should help them. Eric Ten Hag ball exposes them. I find it so funny how people moan about him not playing Ajax style, but moan when he plays Dutch players and say United is Ajax. I can't lie. And this takes me back to my other point. If your style of football requires you to have specific players, not profiles, specific players to make your system work, you got a shit system. Excuse my language. But you got a crap system. Now, if you had a system that requires you to get particular styles or particular profiles of players, I understand that, because that's what most systems have, right? It's like same as basketball, NFL, etc. You have a specific type of profile of players in those positions. But if you're telling me that Eric Ten Hag cannot play football without De Ligt in the back, without Onana in goal, without De Jong in the middle, without Anthony on the right, my friend, that is a flawed system. That is a flawed system. And essentially what you're trying to do is just recreate what you had at Ajax at Manchester United. But guess what? It's not going to work. It won't work. One, because Ajax and Manchester United are two different teams. B, the Eredivisie and the Premier League is two different leagues. And three, just because you can play in the Eredivisie doesn't mean you can play in the Premier League. Like, for me, that is just a big flaw. And that's why I don't always agree that Eric Ten Hag, by the way, needs specific players to play in a certain way. But I think Eric Ten Hag, from his infatuation with Scott McTominay, I think Eric Ten Hag has, if he can rely on you, or he's seen that he can rely on you, then he will hold on to you and you will be a part of the football that he wants to play. And you lot are probably thinking, what the hell? But just think about that. All the players that he's brought from Ajax, these are players that he could rely on. He brought in Mazraoui, dashed him into the first game of the Premier League. He can rely on him. De Ligt, he can rely on him. Onana, he can rely on him. Martinez, he can rely on him. Anthony, who he praises all the time in press conferences, he can rely on him. Scott McTominay bailed him out so many times last season. He can rely on him. That's why he didn't want Scott McTominay to leave. I think Eric Ten Hag values the idea of, like, not loyalty, but once you show value to him as a player, he will literally hold on to you, which is not always a bad thing. But in this instance, I don't think it's a good thing. In this particular instance, I don't think it's a good thing. But listen, guys, we got just nearly 100 people in here. We don't even have 50 likes. We ain't even got 50 likes. I've waffled. We've talked about PS5. We've talked about PS5 Pro. We talked about gaming. We've talked about so much random stuff before we actually started the stream. So make sure you guys hit the like button, guys. If you are new here, please do subscribe. It's the road to 7K. The goal is to get to 10K before my birthday, which is 5 months, which is not bad. So make sure you guys subscribe as well if you're new here. If you want to join the Minions gang, aka the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course you get to support the growth of the ever growing channel. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love and some appreciation to the channel. Now, I've just put it in the chat, but please go ahead and follow me on the Purple app. Somebody's told me not to say the word, but follow me on the Purple app, because I will be doing my gaming streams there, and we are starting this evening. NBA 2K, come through, guys. It will just be a nice little chit chat with the community, and then all the clips will go onto my gaming channel in the coming days, if I can be bothered to edit it. Don't start the birthday stuff. Do not start the birthday stuff, guys. Please don't do that. Don't do that. What else? Yeah, come, let's look at this, right? Because I was reading a very good article. I was reading a very good article today. You lot know one thing about me. I love a good article. And the article was on The Athletic about Manchester United under Eric Ten Hag. I think it was from Carl Anker that did the piece. And this screenshot was there. NBA 2K, which version? I'm playing 2K25, which just came out last week. Are you playing Jokic? I'm a big man. I got a center build. So yeah, I just played Jokic literally in my last game. And we won, but he cooked me. He absolutely cooked me. But quickly on this, guys. You see the evolution of the way that Ten Hag has played. This is Erik Ten Hag's Manchester United in the first 2 seasons, or maybe in the first season and a half, even 2 seasons, I would say, where they were pressing 3v4, which meant Manchester United were always outnumbered in the press. I don't know if you guys remember, they were always outnumbered in the press. You'd have Hojlund leading here, then you'd have the wingers on each side, and it would essentially be a 5v3. But it wouldn't be the worst thing, because if the opponent managed to get out of the press, which a lot of the time they did, Manchester United wouldn't be outnumbered. They would not be outnumbered on the other side. Why? Because they would have a number of midfielders and the backline. But as Ten Hag has tried to evolve and improve the system that he's building here at Manchester United, he's now decided to go like this when it comes to pressing. When it comes to the false nine, right? I'm gonna stop plagiarizing. I'm not plagiarizing. I am not. I just found some good parts that I'm sharing with you lot. But this is how United are essentially pressing now, where they're going man for man. Man for man. And what happens as a result? They are outnumbered. When you're going man for man and the opponent is countering that by committing 1 or 2 extra people forward, you're going to get caught out on a 3v5. You're going to get caught out on a 4v6, on a 2v4. You are going to get outnumbered on counters in transition. And Erik Ten Hag has said he wanted to make Manchester United the best transitional team. I don't know if he meant defensively or going forward. Now, there's so many screenshots I could bring up, guys, for that particular game against Liverpool. Now, this one I think is probably the most obvious one. Look how many people are in front of Manchester United's, or behind Manchester United's midfield. Look how many people, how many Liverpool players. And this is why I say that, although after that Liverpool game, I said it, but after I said it, I kind of thought about it and I thought, you know what, that's actually not the case. I said that Man United handed Liverpool all the goals, but it was actually not the case, because Liverpool came in with a game plan. And this is what worries me a lot, is that Liverpool came in with a game plan. Slot broke it down on TV. I'm sure everybody has seen it. But they came in with a game plan that they did not have to change at any point during the game. You know how scary that is? Do you know how scary that is? That you do, as an opponent, it's a good thing. The opponent is probably happy. They came probably with multiple plans on how to implement situations, but they didn't have to change their plan at all, because Erik Ten Hag had one plan and stuck to it, even when it wasn't working, even when it was conceding us goals. He continued with it. And for me, adaptability is probably one of the most underrated traits that you can have as a manager. The ability, and not just as a manager, can I say, this is, guys, take this as some life advice. This is applicable even in life. The ability to adapt to situations that change. You know, when a situation changes for you or in the moment, you have to be able to adapt. For example, if I'm streaming, guys, and my Wi-Fi suddenly goes down, I need to I have to adapt to the situation to quickly fix it. As a manager, to have one plan, and it's kind of like just banging your head against the wall non-stop, expecting a different outcome. You're just going to end up with a headache if you keep banging your head against the wall. And that's how I see the system that Man United have right now under Erik Ten Hag. And obviously, INEOS are asking questions. They expect improvements, not just on the results and not just in the manner in which Manchester United are going to win games potentially, but also the game model. What is it that Manchester United are trying to achieve from a game? When we go into a game, and I'm sure we have this conversation all the time before, every time we do a preview stream, guys, we sit here on the channel and I say, I don't know how United are going to look tomorrow. And everybody in the chat agrees with me. Everybody always agrees with me, because we do not know how Manchester United are going to approach a game. But it looks like Erik Ten Hag knows how Manchester United are going to approach a game. It's going to be this 4-2-4 out of possession, and this 3-1-6 in possession. Or I will say it's a 3-2-5 in possession that changes into a 3-1-6 once Manchester United get a bit further up the pitch. Now, my biggest worry is the midfield, but alongside that, it's about the staticness between that 6 people up front. Firstly, having 6 people up front is wild, right? But it's so static that nobody's moving. Nobody's making running behinds. You can't even make a run to the right of you because you might be running into another person's space because it's congested. There's too many people there. 6 people in a line across the final back line. And then there's a heap of space between that line and the midfield. And what happens? Capitalized. Are you confident for Saturday? I mean, I should be. 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday. I mean, what has happened? What has gone wrong on a 12:30 kickoff, right? But I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's against Southampton, a newly promoted team who evidently struggled in the Premier League last season. Let me go check what was our results against them, man, last season. I think we beat them like 1-0. Oh my god. That's the year that's the time Casemiro got red carded. Oh my days. Under Erik ten Hag, we beat them 1-0. This time in his opening season, off the back of, I think that was off the back of the first 2 losses against Brighton and Brentford, if I'm not wrong. And then we went on to draw 0-0 at Old Trafford when Casemiro got sent off. So under Erik ten Hag, Manchester United have only scored 1 goal against Southampton. Now, I'm sitting here saying it's a newly promoted side who struggled in the Premier League the last time that they were in the Premier League. But Manchester United just about beat them the last time they went down south to play them in Southampton. What do you lot think? What do you lot think of that game? What's your predictions? Let me know your predictions quickly. Because I can't sit here and lie to you guys and say United are going to smash them 3-0. Man United are going to do this because I genuinely do not know. I would like Manchester United to win, but realistically, we do not know. We do not know what the case would be. Average goals 1.1. Would you rather watch aesthetically pleasing football or a boring style of football with better results? I mean, football. This is the conversation that we always have, right? And I had this debate with Saeed once. Football is about results, right? But in the same time, it's about the way you play too. So it's a bit of both for me. It's most important. It's a bit of both. It's not. I don't want to play aesthetically pleasing football. I want to play dominant football. I want to play dominating football. I want to dominate the opponent. I want to go into a game confident to know that Man United are going to have 60, 65% possession, amples of chances on goal, multiple goals. I don't want to look at the game and be like, oh, from an XG perspective, we should have won. No, I don't want that. I hate when people talk about XG, guys. It's actually the bane of my existence. I hate the concept of XG. It's so annoying. But it's a bit of both for me. It's a bit of both. Like I would like to enjoy watching football equally as much as getting the results, because at the end of the day, guys, years from now, when we think back to Erik ten Hag's like 3rd season, etc., we're not going to be like, oh, remember that performance against Brighton. No, we're going to be like, remember when we lost against Brighton, because we lost. So that's the most important thing. And I think a good manager does both. You get the results and you get it in a good fashion, in a good manner. Do you guys think Erik ten Hag sees the season out? Everywhere I go, people are saying he's not going to survive. Everywhere I go, everyone I talk to, even off content side, and I speak to like my cousins and that who are United fans, half of them are fed up of Ten Hag. But when I do speak with them, nobody thinks to me Erik ten Hag will be Manchester United manager at the end of the season. I have people saying to me he's going to be the first manager sacked. And I'm talking about before Sean Dyche and them guys. There's a lot of people that are under the impression that he will be the first manager sacked. And I know a lot of you guys have said he wouldn't make it to December. But that run of games that United have, October, November, is scary. Porto. We've got so many big teams in October and November, guys. We've got a lot of big teams and a lot of big games. And I've said this from here on out. Manchester United have to go on an impressive run of games. That's the only way. Like I sat there the other day on the red carpet on United View, and I said, I don't see Ten Hag turning it around. Like I don't see him winning over everyone in the manner in which he should, i.e., style of football, implementing the style, getting a tune out of the players. And And the reason why I say that is because I've heard this notion of he needs his players, he needs this, he needs that, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. You don't need all of that. Like, and can I just say, this is obviously me coming from like a perspective of being a fan, etc. But that Liverpool game, guys, everyone in that starting 11 was players that he promoted from the academy, players that he brought, and players that he gave new contracts to. Dalot, Bruno, Rashford, new contracts. Garnacho and Kobe promoted from the first team to the first team, sorry, and everybody else he brought. Everybody else in that team he brought. So for me, at what point do we say, okay, maybe it's not working? Big up to Z. Says big games like who Spurs at home I expect to beat. We are only looking at these fixtures because we are playing crap at the moment. I can't lie. Fenerbahce away and Porto away is not going to be easy, guys. Fenerbahce away is not going to be an easy fixture. We're sitting here talking about a mentally weak Manchester United team. Like last season, we were talking about that. Do you think that they can handle going to Turkey with the atmosphere that they're going to get welcomed with? And they're not. It's not going to get into their heads. Sevilla got into their heads. Sevilla got into their heads. Devil's advocate. For all we know, we could go on to win most of our games, lose 8 games, and still get third. Mathematics. Expected. Sorry for you, eh? Yeah, if he loses in any of these upcoming fixtures, it will finish him. I just think, right, and can I just say, as much as I have my questions and my reservations about Erik ten Hag, yeah, what the English media is doing to him right now is a joke. It's actually a joke, guys. A testimonial. We're here talking about a testimonial that they ran with and said he lost, all whilst putting Klopp next to him and saying Klopp won. Bro, firstly, no one cares. It's a testimonial. It's literally a testimonial. But it's the fact that fake news, guys, is clearly a problem in football media right now, because all these big outlets ran with it. They ran with it. TNT, so many, ESPN, so many of these big outlets ran with Erik ten Hag losing a testimonial. Brother, it was a testimonial and he didn't even lose. Was it Daily Mail who started it? I don't know who it was that started it. I thought it was a Twitter account that started it. Big up to Benji. I appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you so much. Says Erik needs to go, but we win 2-0. Not convincingly. So it's a smash and grab 2-0. For me, going to Southampton, 12:30 early kickoff on a Saturday, right? I expect you to go there, dominate possession, create chances, finish your food. But the expectation and the reality of what we might get is probably not the same. It's probably not the same. And that is scary. That is scary to me. Fenerbahce will park the bus and try to grind a win. Jose will come out and say this is football heritage. Listen, if Manchester United lose or draw, yeah, to Fenerbahce, guys, Jose Mourinho is going to we are going to see shithousery that has not shithoused before. We are going to see a shithousery that we have not seen before in our lives, because the run that Jose Mourinho is about to go on, if that happens, scary. He is going to be on a madness. A part of me wants to see it, but I don't want United to lose. So I don't want that. I don't want that. Let me see what else you guys say. And Z says the only fixture I can see us losing coming up is Villa away. Let me bring up the fixture list. Man United fixtures. Let's bring up the fixture list here, so we can actually discuss it. Right? Let's bring it up here. There you go. All right, cool. So the next couple games for me, okay, it should be easy wins, right? It should be easy wins, but that's not always the case. Southampton, Barnsley, Palace for me is an interesting one, because we know what happened at Selhurst Park, right? We know what happened at Selhurst Park last season, but they haven't essentially been amazing coming into the first couple of games, right? They did get a result, obviously against Chelsea. They've got a lot of new puzzles in the pieces. Mateta versus De Ligt, I'm more comfortable with that idea rather than the idea of him against Casemiro in the back line. But you never know what you're going to get. You do not know what the lights at Selhurst Park is very bright. It's very, very bright. What next? And then FC 20. So those run of 4 games should be for me a comfortable run of games for Manchester United to get the ball rolling and kind of start churning out results. Now, this is the interesting part. This is the interesting part, the interesting run of games, essentially from the end of September, right? We got Spurs at home, we got Porto away, we got Villa away, we got Brentford at home, Fenerbahce away, West Ham away. So we got 2 games at home. You lot know what our away record is, right? You know what our away record is under Eric Ten Hag. You know what it's saying. And that's what scares me. That is what scares me. The away record for Manchester United under Eric Ten Hag is scary. In our first season, it wasn't the greatest thing, but it's gotten progressively worse, right? Over the second season. Now, if we're going away to Porto, and we're going away to Villa, and we're going away to Fenerbahce, and we're going away to West Ham, based on Man United's away record, I have question mark. And then after that, it gets a bit easy. And then Chelsea, we can add Chelsea into that mix because we don't even know how Chelsea's going to kind of turn out over the next couple games because they started good and then they drew to Palace, etc., etc. But the reason why I'm saying that the run of games in October is important is because of the number of games that United are playing away. 4 games out of 6 being away from home. And some of them in hostile environments, if you want to say that. Fenerbahce, Porto, even I'd say Villa Park. United did, I think we've beaten Villa away from home. But it's still scary. It's still scary. Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United couldn't agree terms over a new contract in the summer. Ten Hag rejected certain things INEOS suggested. So I guess it's kind of that. Does that kind of confirm that he didn't get a new contract? It was just his extension. It was just his contract being extended, essentially. But let's go, guys. Let's preview up until. Let's do the next 4 games. We'll do the next 4 games, right? Because it's. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong part. Here you go. Let's do September's fixtures. So here's September's fixtures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 Carabao Cup, 1 Europa League game, and then 3 Premier League games. 3 Premier League games, 2 of them are away from home. 2 of them are away from home. What do you think Manchester United get from the 3 Premier League games? How many points do Man United get? Spurs, I can't lie. They're all fixtures that I have question marks over. They are all fixtures that I have question marks over. I've never been in so much doubt about a result for Manchester United in a long, long time. Out of 9 points, if we can get 5, which is absolutely, guys, this is how mudded we are. I'm sitting here saying if we can get 5 points, guaranteed 6 is all we get, Minna. So we lose one of those games. Minna, Southampton is going to beat you. If Southampton beat Manchester United, guys, the worst thing is 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday. That's your weekend ruined. That is literally your weekend ruined. I can't stream. I can't watch other games. I'm literally sitting on the couch heartbroken. I can't. I expect United to do that. 1 point. Someone's saying 1 point, 3 points. He's saying all draws. I'm saying 7 and a draw to Palace. Z is probably the only person to say. Okay, H says I refuse anything less than 9 points. That's the mentality we should have, right? But I've learned from my experience, guys, and my mistakes of expecting a win and being humbled. Fetal position for the next 72 hours. You know them sobbing cries that you do. Yeah, that's me if we lose to Southampton because I can't handle it. I really, really cannot. I can't handle it. I'm saying 5. I would say 5 or 7. 7 or 5, yeah. It's either 2 draws and a win or 2 wins and a draw. But if United lose, this fan base is already on eggshells, guys. We are already walking on eggshells. Everyone is like 1 moment away from just exploding and erupting. Hoping for 9, grateful for 6. United might lose to Barnsley. Let's be real. They, by the way, guys, is a Spurs fan. If you guys didn't know, Manchester United for me should put out a B team against Barnsley and win. I mean, we put out strong teams against Coventry and we just about beat them. Realistically, we should win 4 out of 5 to gain some momentum back. For me, that's not for 4 out of 5. If ideally in an ideal world, and we don't live in an ideal world, but Man United would win all 5 games in September. That is my dream. But I don't think that's going to happen. I do think there's a draw somewhere there, maybe between Palace, maybe between Spurs. But if Spurs come to Old Trafford and Ange Postecoglou bops us off the pitch, Eric Ten Hag should walk down the tunnel, and the players should walk down the tunnel with their heads in shame, like heads down, shamed. You know, when you shame people in the street, you know, back in the day they used to shame people in the street like this. That's what should happen to Man United if they lose. If Ange Postecoglou comes to Manchester United, Old Trafford, and bops us off the pitch. And when I say bops us off the pitch, guys, I mean plays in the manner in which Liverpool did. If they do that to us, I will be absolutely. I'll lose it. I think I'm going to that game as well. I want 9, but we'll probably get 6. I think everyone's accepting that there's a loss in there somewhere in the next 3 games. I don't know. Yeah, but the funny thing is, United could turn around and win all games. And then they could turn around and win 1 out of 5. You just don't know what you're getting with Manchester United. You just do not know what you're going to get with Manchester United, unfortunately. I don't know if you guys saw talks about United interested in Arda Güler. This is how you know transfer. This is how you know it's international break. And there's nothing to talk about. Because if you think Real Madrid would ever sell Arda Güler to Manchester United, why the hell would they do that? Why on earth would they do that? I think Arda Güler has a future at Real Madrid. So I had to bring that out because obviously, like I said, there's just news out there that's just, it's out there for the sake of it. It's out there for the sake of it. It's nothing really kind of solid. I don't know if you guys have been watching, and let's just quickly touch on this. Have you not been? I know I said I don't watch international football during the international break. I'm a liar. I do watch some, but I don't watch it with a lot of attention. I.e., I'll have it on and I'll be doing something else. Joshua Zirkzee, for me, his role at Manchester United is going to be very, very interesting. And what I mean by that is he's not the number 9 that United might need. He's not the number 9. He's not the occupying the box kind of striker, the, occupying the back line kind of striker, making him runs behind. He's going to occupy the same space as people like Bruno. Like, it's very, very interested. I'm very, very interested, to see what happens with him because he likes to be that late runner into the box, drop deep, pick up, get involved in the link up and then get forward. Højlund up top with that will be interesting. But then where does he play? Where does he play? Do you put Bruno in the deeper role and then put him in that 9.5 space that he likes to play in? It's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. Did you see what did you watch Flex get battered, smashed on DR Sports? Nah, I didn't. I need to go watch it back. I know he's been he ain't been on DR Sports in ages. 4 teams play system football really well. Brighton, City, Liverpool, Arsenal. We kind of unlucky to face Brighton and Paul early in the season. Hope Ten Hag improves his tactics. I hear it. Zirkzee, oh my word, what a player. I'm very intrigued to see what Zirkzee's future is. I'm not going to lie. When I saw him against Liverpool in the flesh, I thought, this guy's too big. He's chunky. He's a clunky guy. But then when I watch him for the Netherlands, and maybe Koeman, and by the way, Koeman is weird, bro. The things that he says about his players in press conferences, like about Steven Bergwijn and that weird manager. But anyways, the way that Koeman is clearly using Zirkzee works. Now, this is another example, can I say, of players looking ass in Manchester United's lineup and going to international duty and looking good. Like, how many players have we seen over the international break tearing it up for their national team or doing a very good job? Bruno Fernandes, example. Diogo Dalot got a goal. Joshua Zirkzee, Garnacho, etc. Ugarte, who is still yet to see in a United shirt, and apparently he's not able to play. But we can play for his national team on international break. It makes no sense. A certain Sui scored goal number 901. Do you think? Let's actually get to that. You know what? Because I saw he did an interview with 5. He did an interview with what the hell? He did an interview with Rio Ferdinand. I don't know if you guys have seen the topics because he's talking about Manchester United. And he said, I repeat, I still and will always love Manchester United. So he's talking about his time at Manchester United. Do you think he's going to get 1,000 goals. Do you guys think Cristiano Ronaldo will get the 1,000 career goals? He's on like 45 at Al Nassr. He's got like 140 something at United, 400 something, Real Madrid, etc., etc. He's only got a couple at Sporting. Do you think he can get 1,000? Do you think that's his aim? What is he aiming for in his career, guys? That's what I want to know, because I'm like, all that's left for you is to win the World Cup, right? All that's left is for you to win the World Cup. The next World Cup is what? What are we in? 2 years away? The next World Cup is 2 years away, right? If you play 2 more years in Saudi football and say you're getting 30-ish, 35 goals in the Saudi league, which should be doable for him, right? And he continues to get a couple of goals in the international breaks, etc. Surely he can get the 1,000 record at the World Cup. What a story that would be, by the way, if he got the 1,000 record at the World Cup and then won the World Cup with Portugal and bowed out. I don't see it happening, but that would be a nice story. I think he definitely can, but he will need to move to like the MLS. Why? Why can't he get it in the Saudi league? People are saying it don't count in the Saudi league, but why does accolades not count if it's still competitive football? It's still top flight football. Today, if I went to play, I don't know, in the Kenyan league, it's still top flight football. So it's still the top flight football in Kenya. So it should still count. If I went to go play in Egypt, if I went to go play in Algeria, if I went to go play in Ghana, wherever I play, it is still top flight football. Saudi league, it gets shitted on for some reason, which I know why. I know why it gets shitted on, but also I don't understand. I think Saudi league is getting more competitive. You've seen Al Hilal's team; it is getting more competitive, and I've been saying this since Saudi Arabia announced themselves in the World Cup in 2012. Obviously, that was a lot of people's first time seeing them when they beat Argentina, even though Argentina went on to win. But there were so many players that I was like, guys, these players would be good. People would be like, these players are class if they were playing in European leagues. What happened? A player that I rated during the World Cup got a move to Roma. Al Hilal stacked team, Al Ittihad, Al Nassr. What other teams? There's so many teams in Saudi league. There's obviously some lower sided teams, lower league teams. The other day I found out that Igalo is playing in the Saudi league. Did you guys know that? Nice story ain't happening. Yeah, I know. We can wish. We can wish. It doesn't work that way in our stat pad leagues. I don't care if it's stat pad league. I don't care. But it would be very interesting to see how many goals he gets over the next, how long it takes him to get 100 more goals, and if he can get that before he actually retires. And just quickly, last but not least, from Chris Wheeler, says that Ten Hag is urging his players to be nastier. Ten Hag is urging his players to be nastier as part of a three-pronged plan to improve Manchester United's performances this season, number one. Number two, secondly, Ten Hag wants United to have more possession, telling his players that they need to protect the ball better to control games. And number three, Ten Hag has been drumming into his players to be more positionally aware. He has been showing the squad videos to highlight the importance of good positioning and cutting out silly mistakes and unnecessary goals. Now, this is just going to make me go on a rant, guys, because I'm going to sit here and be like, why are people making silly mistakes? Is it just because it's a silly mistake? Or is it because the mistake is the system? Which is it? Because can I just say, guys, yeah, and I've said this time and time again, once in a while making a freak mistake, okay, cool. That kind of shit happens, right? But if people are continuously making mistakes, then we know what the problem is. And it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. It really, really doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Chris Wheeler also confirms, and I'm sorry for you guys who don't want to hear this. There's little chance of Anthony moving to Turkey after a number of wide players have left Manchester United this season. I know a lot of Hey, I'm not even joking, guys. If people get a hold of this quote from Chris Wheeler, where Erik Ten Hag has apparently told his players to play nastier, it's game over. People are going to be calling United Freaky FC, all this nonsense. Something must be very wrong if we are looking at next year's transfer window when the window just closed. No, I think there's nothing wrong with planning effectively. And I think, from an FFP standpoint, knowing where you will be next season is helpful because then it helps you plan for next season. He doesn't coach routines. He only expects them to do it on match day. Now, honestly, I can't believe this is the fun. Listen, we've seen funny stuff over the last couple weeks, yeah. But this is probably the funniest thing. Telling players to be nastier. How do you even be nastier? Is it like, I need to understand what context of nasty. Like, are we saying like mean girl vibes? Like pushing people out of the way, barging people out of the way, dashing people on the floor. What the hell? What kind of bloody description is that? That is so funny. That has actually made me laugh, guys. I'm not gonna lie, that's made me laugh. But you know what's not making me laugh? That there's over 90 people here and less than 90 likes. That is not funny. That is not a laughing matter, guys. That is not a matter that we should be laughing about. Before we wrap it up, let's try and get the likes up as well. And if you are watching this back as well on stream, be sure like Sergio Ramos and Gattuso. Listen, Sergio Ramos was nasty. Yeah, he was a nasty guy. He was a nasty guy. He was evil. I hated Sergio Ramos. I liked him as a football fan, but if United was ever playing Real Madrid, I did not like it. I didn't like it. He was a monster. Maybe he should use the term monster, guys, and not nasty. Maybe he should use the term monster and not nasty, because you're telling man to be nasty. I'm looking at you a bit sideways. I can't lie. I'm looking at you a bit sideways. But you guys know what it is. Listen, be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to hit the like button, guys, and be sure to subscribe. I've just put it in the chat, guys. Go ahead and please follow my Twitter. I was not meant to say that. Please follow me on that purple app down below, because I'll be going live in probably about 45 minutes. I'm going to have some dinner and then go live. NBA 2K. My friends stress me out on 2K. Honestly, guys, playing with people that don't know how to pass is the worst thing ever. But I'm going to go live and you guys are going to be... come through, come chit chat. We could talk about the game if you guys play NBA 2K25, and if not, you can just come through for the vibe. Please do follow me. I'm trying to get to 100 followers on there. I'm less than about, I think, 20 away. I'm less than 20 away. And if you do miss the stream or you don't have the app, it's quite simple to sign up and just bam, watch. But I will upload clips onto my gaming channel, and the link is in the bio of this video as well. And if you want to, like I said, I have a lot of stuff coming on socials, on platforms, etc. over the next couple of weeks. So follow me on all platforms. Literally, it's the same handle everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch. Everywhere is the same app, but you don't know what it is. I'll be back tomorrow as well. I'm not gonna lie, guys, let me be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna be back tomorrow because there might be nothing to talk about. But if there is anything to talk about, I will be live. But I will be live every single day. Yes, every single day on Twitch. So make sure you lot come over and follow me there for all gaming stuff. You don't know what it is. Listen, be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. As always, it's your girl Minna, and I'm out, guys. Peace.